ये थोड़ा अजीब लगता है, मतलब आप एक्टिंग कर रहे हो और आप जाके किसी को पराठे खिला के बोल रहे हो कि मुझे रोल दे दो। नहीं, आप देख लो, काम देखो, आप ऑडिशन ले लो, आप रीडिंग करा लो, एंड देन गिव वर्क। एंड आई वाज लाइक, ओ माय गॉड, अगर प्रीमियर हो तो ऐसा हो। इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एक्टर्स टू एक्सप्लोर विद द डायरेक्टर्स। वी कांट बी डूइंग द सेम स्ट्रेट लाइन जॉब एवरी टाइम यू कॉल अस इन एंड यू थिंक दैट ओके कुछ मैजिक हो जाएगा। द मैजिक विल बी क्रिएटेड टुगेदर for the other part of the world to celebrate your film, which is so rooted for your country. That was quite interesting.
Abhishek, firstly, a massive congratulations on the nomination for your performance in Stolen for the Critics' Choice Awards. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's an honor to be nominated. Yeah.
I really want to start by talking to you about the insane journey of the film. Correct me if I'm wrong. World premiere is 2023 in Venice. You made the film about 4 years ago. After it does the festival circuit, it doesn't find a release for the longest time. Then last year, Amazon Prime Video picks it up after this range of very exciting filmmakers and producers come to present the film. So, what was that journey like for this film where you've given your heart and soul into that performance, into that character, and then you get this acclaim from the festival space, and then there's radio silence for so long? How tough is it to navigate that as an actor?
Yeah, I mean, these are like new learnings for an actor like me. Okay, because also I've been associated with like major commercial movies where you don't really think about release and everything. It's all been taken care of. You're also flying private jets for promotions and stuff, and it's a lovely, lovely life. So this was quite the opposite, where you're like, okay, like you don't have any vanities on set. You are changing in tents, and you are like staying in very, very like local hotels and stuff like that. But there was joy in both the spaces, to be very honest. One where you are pampered, and there also you're like really giving your heart and soul and acting, and here also you are unlearning certain things and also acting. So that is, I think, the main motivation factor, which is what I realized for an actor. That's why probably we are so careless and like so unorganized. We just want to like jump into characters and forget about the real world, and that was the main joy of Stolen. Uh, though with Stolen, the only thing was that it was so close to the real world that we really did not have any time to think anything. Like we did not have any time to think about the release or what we are going to do. I remember पहले जब हम मिले थे, and that time there was this whole OTT boom.
Hmm.
So all of us, like Gaurav, Karan, me, Shubham, in especially Gaurav and Karan, they were like, "हम तो OTT film बना रहे हैं. We are making, this is going to be released in OTT and people are going to love it, and this is what we're going to do." And now we finally have a space, for films like this, and this is so exciting. And I'm like, yeah, this is so exciting. और आप भी हथौड़ा त्यागी हो, like people know you, and everything is going to be hunky dory and easy. And then we realized that it's not that easy. Like it's going to take a lot of time because the studios won't spend their money so easily on such films. And but to be very honest, I feel every time we talk about Stolen, there's this conversation about how long it has taken. But I always felt it was, well, maybe I was in the process, so it felt like it was very quick
Hmm.
because we shot the film in 2023, uh, early 2023, Jan Feb. We finished the film. Then by March we sent the first cut, and then we started traveling.
Hmm.
Since August, or I think, yeah, August, September, we started traveling with the film, and that entire 1 year just went into different film festivals. And this was the first time I was seeing the glory or the glamour of international film festivals, and I was awestruck. And I was like, oh my God, अगर premier हो तो ऐसा हो, मतलब where thousands of people are like, cinephiles and people from all over the world, and audience and film lovers. They're coming and they're celebrating your film. They're giving you standing ovations, and you don't see anybody like बहुत मुश्किल से कोई हिंदुस्तानी मिलता है
Hmm.
वैसे जगहों पे. So for the other part of the world to celebrate your film, which is so rooted
Yeah.
for your country, that was quite interesting. And to see the kind of responses from different diaspora, like अगर इटली में film release दिखाई जा रही है, So there's this pin drop silence. People are not catching on the joke because they're not finding it very funny,
Yeah.
you know. And it was so different from BFI, where because they're used to India, they know certain things about India. They were finding the sarcasm funny. They were finding the irony funny. And when it was showcased in Mami, trust me, the first half was a laugh riot.
Okay.
Now I don't know it was because of me, because they saw me as Jana or Dream Girl. So I saw a lot of common people also coming and laughing and enjoying the film. And there was a point where I looked at Katie and I'm like, "हमने गलत film बना दी लगता है. This was
This
not
is
the
not
film."
supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah, and why people finding it funny? And then we realized that mob is so casual
Hmm.
in our country. इतनी भीड़ है, इतना so mob is not scary. And that was a very big learning, that your film will change from theater to theater, from country to country, from state to state. It was beautiful to actually see all of that. And then the next audience were the studios, who were loving the film. Everybody was loving the film.
Hmm.
Everybody came out and said that this is beautiful, this is wonderful. But then, of course, then comes the choices. Then comes the whole fact about कि ये thriller है और हम already 4 thriller ले रहे हैं, तो पांचवा thriller की जगह नहीं है. And ये theater में नहीं चलेगी. It's too dark for people to. Then you get to realize these kind of conversations about a film which was loved and liked and clapped and acclaimed world over. And then you get to know that acha, all of this doesn't mean in business.
Hmm.
And then jab, I think for one good year, it went on to many studios, many people saw it, but there were no takers. And suddenly, I don't know what happened. Uh, we got like we started getting offers. Okay. And that's because of the chatter. So I
Hmm.
realized that the word of mouth, how audience by word of mouth is very important. In the same way, the studio circle also, the word of mouth is very important. So they're like, okay, like critics like you, like someone who just said that, he's watched a film in Mami, probably he's talking about it in some party, or some director like Sudeep sir. I heard that Sudeep sir actually told the Amazon team that that is one of his favorite films. And Kiran ma'am, when she said that in the interview, that also caught on fire, that it was her favorite film. And there are directors talking about that this film is their favorite film, but the audience has not watched. Everybody was questioning कि film कौन सी है?
Yeah.
You know, what is this film which people are talking about, but we don't get to see it? And I think that's how, it caught fire. So word of mouth in the industry really matters for indie films, is what I realized. And then after that, like, we got 2 offers, and then finally Prime, I think that was the whole idea. There was always that Hathoda Tyagi angle when they came to, narrate the story to me. And finally, it got into the same channel, from the channel where I got fame. So yeah, it
I
was
mean,
a full
that's
circle.
very no, no. It's a very sort of hopeful story. I also find it so interesting that it took so long because compared to a lot of indie films, this is a very accessible film.
Yeah,
The word entertaining can be sort of considered a bad word, but it really is such an accessible, thrilling film. But I'm glad. I'm glad it finally got its audience, and it really
yeah,
tells you so much about what happens when people in the industry, when it becomes about the work, the
yeah,
talent, when people really talk about something that inspires them.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you a bit of a career question. You know, as an actor, you have done so many different things, genres wise. You've refused to be sort of put in a box. We've seen you as some of the scariest characters, some of the most lovable, funny characters across medium, theatrical, independent, mainstream, etc. I imagine that's very difficult for an actor to really refuse to be put in a box. So, how difficult is it to not be seen in just one way? How difficult is it for an actor to really show people that I can do many things and you can see me in different ways?
It's quite tough. It's quite tough. Is what I'm like. Again, I'm learning and realizing,
Even now,
because
even after you've done all of that?
oh yes, because the thing is that I feel there's this problem, and I don't know how to evade this problem, and that is, till somebody has seen you in a particular role, they don't buy you in that particular role. So the makers who have seen me in comedy and not seen probably a Pata Loco Stolen, they would not know that okay, he can do a serious part. The ones who have seen the serious parts will be like, oh, he's too serious. Will he be able to do comedy? Yeah, he does comedy, but that might be a gimmick comedy. Will he be able to pull off a subtle comedy? there are so many doubts every time put on an actor's journey. It's incredible, but also I think that's the kind of pressure we need to deal with. That's what we have chosen for ourselves. So there's yeah, that's I'm still fighting for I'm still fighting for it, and I'll continue to do so, because if I am, many people say that अरे versatile है तो हाँ ठीक है, versatility का फिर proof देना पड़ेगा. That's the thing
But how do you
that
do
you have
that?
to.
If I don't have the body of work, how do I prove that versatility if I'm talking to you?
Yeah, that is true. That's exactly why you have to look at different channels. That's why sometimes you have to do a stolen,
Okay.
and sometimes, like, the kind of films which I did last year was there were many interesting choices which will probably come out this year, like Bagi Bechare, or which was a film with Pratik Gandhi. Sumit Purohit has made that film. It's a
Yeah.
very different offbeat film. And when that comes out, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, he can do probably subtle comedy, probably because I've not seen the film and
Yeah.
people have not watched it, but हो सकता है उससे थोड़ी सी ये belief system आए कि okay, no, he can
Yeah.
stay away from caricature. In fact, recently one of the directors who I was speaking to for a character, and there was this fear of oh, but we are not making the like the commercial comedy. I'm like, we have to trust the actor to understand that we also understand the space we are working in,
Yeah.
and
The pitch.
there is definitely a lack of trust in understanding, the whole ability, to be honest. And the ability doesn't grow in 1 or 2 days, to be honest. It takes years to come to a point where you know which pitch to act in.
Yeah.
And also I feel that it's something which I always say, whenever I've gone and asked for work from a filmmaker, I've always said that even if you don't like my work, probably with you I will, develop some better acting skills, because it's very important for actors to explore with the directors.
Yeah.
We can't be doing the same straight line job every time you call us in and you think that okay, kuch magic ho jayega. The magic will be created together,
Yeah.
and for that togetherness we need to collaborate, and that collaboration only will make the actor better, or the scene better, or eventually the film better.
You mentioned your film with Sumit Purohit. It's interesting that after Stolen, you signed on to two more independent films, if I'm not wrong. So, you're straddling these massive blockbusters, these sort of, in quotes, pan India, that entire world with sort of shows with indie films. I'm guessing you get a lot of advice from people saying, why do you do these, in quotes, small projects, etc., that positioning thing. So, what's the worst advice you've ever been given as an actor on the kinds of things you should do and the kinds of things you shouldn't do?
The worst advice. So actually, the worst advice given to me was in a party where someone said that अब तो सबको को जाके मिलना पड़ेगा. Like you have to now go and meet everybody, and like um, get them home cooked food and stuff like that. And that was quite a
Cringe.
yeah. I'm like, I'm not here to like make people eat chole bhature from my house. मतलब ये थोड़ा अजीब लगता है. मतलब आप एक्टिंग कर रहे हो और आप जाके किसी को पराठे खिला के बोल रहे हो कि मुझे रोल दे दो. नहीं, आप देख लो, काम देखो, आप ऑडिशन ले लो, आप रीडिंग करा लो, and then give work. So that culture quite that first time I heard it, I'm like, okay, that's I can't do that now. What do I do? So that's why I have to keep doing these independent films so that people watch it. And nowadays, thankfully, I think the indie scene in India is really booming. Recently we got a BAFTA, and these are really special moments. And I think that from here on, and also I feel that channels like Amazon and Netflix, they are looking for, or other platforms also, like no, not only both of them, they are looking for those special films.
Yeah.
And there is a now a market which is getting slowly getting created for these kind of films, and the audiences, I think they want to watch that film, because any which way the kind of films which multiplex audience wanted to watch, uski ek scarcity hai. Like there's a dearth of those kind of films. So either there's a whole huge massive film, or there is nothing in between. And the in between films are basically getting released on OTT. So there is an audience which is craving for
Yeah.
different kind of cinema, and probably they will come to the theaters to watch that. It's already happening in Malayalam cinema, it's already happening in different regional cinema. We are seeing signs of it. It's matter of time that in the Hindi cinema also will go through that phase.
I'll very much take the hope. But I did want to say that that is one thing I really admire about you as an actor. That it's very understandable for an actor at your level to run after success and positioning, but the fact that you're balancing a Tamil show on Netflix with a streaming series with two independent projects with massive blockbuster films really is very inspiring. That it really is about the work. It's about doing the range and doing everything.
Yeah,
Um,
and Tamil not because I just wanted to have a break in South. It
yeah.
was not that because many people are like, oh, South ki journey shuru ho gayi. Now you want to
Mhm.
start earning money and this and that. I'm like, no, I've said no to many South projects
Okay.
before and after Legacy. Why Legacy? Because I really wanted to work with Karthik Subhraj,
Mhm.
and I really chased that man for years. And then finally, I got a call from their team that they wanted to cast me in something, and yeah, and that's how I met Charu Shekhar, and he narrated me this, like, the whole story in like 20 minutes. I just wanted to do it, and also because Tamil is my second language or third language, because
Yeah.
I grew up in Tamil Nadu, so I know the language, I know the culture. So for me, it was very easy to, like, adapt to the set or the story, or to understand what the whole the socio-economic understanding of the character is. That was very important. So that's why it's not just like, okay, another. I'm also doing a Bengali film, and that's because I wanted to do something for my roots. Yeah.
But that's very exciting. Speaking of Netflix, there is no way I cannot ask you about a certain show you may or may not be filming right now from Sudeep Sharma, starring you, Jaideep Palawat, and Varun Sobti, which is apparently a dark comedy. If I'm not wrong, what can you tell us about it? Just blink
I
twice.
I don't know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
Okay, if you were doing a project like that, is it a fun thing to work on? Is it an exciting idea?
If there was ever a project like that, trust me, that will bring the house down. I can
Okay.
just say that. Yeah, it will be
We can't
wildfire.
wait.
It will be
Hypothetically, we can't
wildfire. Yeah,
wait.
hypothetically, it will be wildfire.
Um,
Yeah.
Last question. I have to ask you a casting question. Back to your casting days, you've talked so much about so many actors that you saw coming up, that you couldn't wait for this person to be discovered. So I just wanted to ask you, was there a specific actor who's now, in quotes, made it that the audience knows and loves that you saw for the longest time and you thought, I can't wait for the world to discover this person?
Oh, there are many actually, because we discovered so many actors and now they're all doing so good. So I don't know, like it's just um
Who comes to
sorry,
mind?
there is another news about Iran attacks. There were like just
Oh,
news coming in. Yeah.
strange time in the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, everybody, like, just right from Siddhant Chaturvedi to like Babel to Avinash to Tripti, all these, like, these wonderful actors and so many more. Like when I went on Mirzapur set,
Mhm.
and I saw, like, when we were filming it, and then suddenly somebody said, Ki, "You hope you remember that this cast has been like cast by you." And then
Mhm.
you see them, and then you see the kind of stardom each one of them have got, and then you find ki, ha, matlab something you've contributed something to the industry,
Yeah.
and it's just not through your acting or your process. You've given so many actors chance, because वो opportunities मिलना बहुत मुश्किल होता है,
Mhm.
and you need that kind of push from casting directors in the initial stage of your career, because nobody else is pushing you. I remember when we were casting Avinash and Tripti for Bulbul, there was this question about कि अरे लैला मजनू में they were cast, same cast है, picture उतनी चली नहीं, but I'm like, yeah, but they were amazing, right?
Mhm.
Their chemistry was amazing, and hits and flops are a part of whatever, part and parcel. It's like an old saying. And then later the film earned money, and now later both of them are doing so well for themselves. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of you just feel satisfied that you've taken some calls early on in your career, and people are like benefiting out of it, and they're happy. Yeah.
No, thank you for that. I could honestly pick your brain for like an hour on everything from casting to acting to different industries,
Yeah.
but that's all we have time for right now. And I know you have to return to shoot also. But thank you for
Yes.
doing this.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.